I'm a very big fan of parody films, and I also have a very big soft spot for Scary Movie 3 because this was actually, to the best of my recollection, the first horror or horror adjacent film that I ever saw. Now, I'm a very big horror fan these days, but back then, apart from The Little Vampire, the film with Jonathan Lipnicki, which absolutely terrified me as a child, I had never seen a horror until I saw this. It was released in 2003. I would have been 11 at the time. I think I would have seen it a little bit after that, maybe age 12 or 13. I was very scared of this kind of film back then, but it was a really nice gateway film, paving the way for my love of horror. And I decided to watch it now for the first time in a long time. I hadn't seen it in a while, but I loved it the first time I saw it. I'd seen it several times since. I wondered if it would still hold up. And I have to say, it kind of does. I'm aware that I'm maybe slightly biased because of the nostalgia that it has for me. But at the same time, I feel like the overarching narrative is stronger than it is in the scary movie films that come before this. It's been a while since I've seen the ones that come after this, so I can't compare it directly in terms of quality, but I have recently rewatched the first and second ones, and this one definitely feels like it's got a tighter narrative, although there are some things here and there that felt like it was padding, and the scene with the rappers near the beginning went on for far too long for me. There was a cameo in that I really enjoyed, but the actual scene itself went on for so long and I found it really boring. But other than that, it's pretty decent. It's directed by David Zucker, written by Craig Mazin and Pat Proft, and the cast is rather, fabulous. The cast for this is something I probably didn't appreciate as much the first time I saw it, but obviously I'm aware of a lot more of their work now. Anna Faris, Charlie Sheen, Regina Hall, Leslie Nielsen, Kevin Hart, Pamela Anderson, Denise Richards, Simon Cowell has a cameo in it. Absolutely fabulous cast. Really thoroughly enjoyed all of the performances. Some of them were quite outrageous performances, and I think some of them really might have tested their acting abilities. I think Regina Hall, in particular, the scene when she's kind of frothing at the mouth. I won't kind of explain too much about that scene as I don't want to spoil it, but I thought that was actually really brilliant, a really brilliant bit of acting, because that can't have been easy to do convincingly. At least I don't think it would have been, and I thought it was very effective. We also have Marny Eng, who plays Tabitha, which is based on the character in The Ring, and brilliant performance there as well. The makeup, costumes, everything looked fabulous. Sometimes a little cheesy, sometimes you could see they didn't really make it like it wasn't a parody. They weren't trying too hard to be convincing some of the times, but that works because it's a film that on the one hand doesn't take itself seriously, but also it's actually very well crafted and very well done, and they've clearly put the effort in. But again, you can't take it seriously, otherwise you won't enjoy it. The films it parodied, two I love, two of which I haven't seen. But I will explain more about that. The main films it parodies are The Ring, which I love, and Signs, which I absolutely adore as well. It also parodies The Matrix Reloaded. I haven't seen that particular Matrix, and also 8 Mile, which I haven't seen and don't really have any interest in. I was still able to kind of follow the bits that it parodied that I couldn't directly relate to, so there's no kind of reason why you wouldn't be able to watch this even if you're unaware of it, which is the sign of a good parody, as there are some parodies where you really have to have a familiarity of the source material to be able to follow it. This one, maybe some of the parodies I didn't find that funny because I don't have the source material to call upon, but I was still able to follow it. So I really like it from the nostalgic perspective, but also I really thought it was actually very well done and well put together. And as far as parodies go, it's a shining example of how to do it well with a really good cast, a generally decent narrative. As I said, the pacing wasn't that great in places. The rapper scene went on for far too long, and it just seemed much longer than any other scene as well. But some of the character developments were great. Well, maybe that's overstretching it, but certainly some of the characters were very interesting, and the elements they parodied I really liked. So for me, I have to say, I think Scary Movie 3, well, so far, it's definitely my favourite of the first three. I have seen the others, but as I said, I can't remember them very well. So I'm planning on rewatching them, and I will work out which is my favourite from there. But at the moment, Scary Movie 3 will always have a special place in my heart because it was really my introduction to this kind of horror, or at least those films that it was parodying. And I think it's something that I will probably always like.